If you want to quit your job successfully and become a full-time creator, you need 3 essential keys in place to unlock the door to freedom. Even missing just one can send you straight back to the very thing you're trying to escape. I know, because I've been there. After 3 failed attempts, I finally understood where I was going wrong. I uncovered a painful truth about my mindset, and I learned how to build a strategic plan to leave my job once and for all. Right now, I'm in the process of setting up the final key, and I want to share all 3 with you so you don't have to spend years making the same mistakes I did. To understand key 1, we have to go back to the first time I tried to make the jump. Key 1, a financial runway, the safety net that fuels your creativity. At this point, I'd been teaching English in Taiwan for a couple of years. Teaching was never supposed to be a permanent job. It was just a stopgap while I worked on my art career. So I saved as much as I could to buy what I saw as the most valuable resource of all, time. I thought if I just had more time to create art, I'd eventually find success. And for a moment, I believed I'd cracked the code. I had a financial runway big enough to live for over a year. This was it, I thought, freedom. And that first key is crucial, but without the other 2 keys, I was destined to end up right back where I started. At the time, I couldn't yet get a permanent visa in Taiwan, but I could extend my working visa for up to a year under the premise that I was looking for a job. So I quit. And for that year, I created a lot. It was an amazing time. Painting, exploring, reconnecting with what I loved. But as the savings dwindled, the pressure crept in. Every piece of art started to carry the weight of, this has to sell. And that kind of fear kills creativity. Eventually I reached a point where I had to find work again or leave Taiwan altogether. I didn't know yet, but I'd already learned my first key, the financial runway. Unfortunately, I'd later forget, and it would cost me again. Having a runway isn't just about money. It's about giving your nervous system permission to relax so you can think clearly and create without desperation. Because when you're worried about how to pay the rent, you're not in creative mode, you're in survival mode. And in survival mode, you can't produce inspired work or make good decisions. People can just smell the desperation off you, which really puts them off buying. And this led me to discover the second key. Key 2, consistent income, proof you can create value again and again. The second time I quit, I was riding a high. I just received my permanent visa, which meant I could stay in Taiwan indefinitely. I was selling some art here and there, and even landed a commission for a huge triptych print. If you've seen my old vlog series, you'll remember that time. I was full of energy, certain that this was it. I thought, if I had sold before, then I could sell again. If I had just had time, I'd find more customers. The interest was there, and I believed the momentum would carry me forward. But reality hit hard. The leads dried up, the sales stopped, and I didn't know how to repeat the process. That's when I learned a painful truth. Consistency isn't about talent or luck, it's about systems. If you can't create income predictably, fear creeps in again. And once you're in that fear state, you stop creating, you start scrambling. But luckily for me, my old boss reached out and said they were short on teachers. I still needed money, so I agreed to work part-time while I tried to figure this out. At the time, it felt like a step backward, but it was really the beginning of me realizing that income alone isn't freedom. Repeatable value is. I learned the hard way that to sustain yourself, you have to be able to repeatedly prove that you can get results. But that's not all. You need the third key. Scaling, a clear plan to grow. Things were going well for a while, until they took a dark turn for the worse. I started drinking heavily again. I stopped making art, I stopped creating YouTube videos, and I fell into a black hole of despair. That's when everything collapsed, and I truly understood what it meant to have the first 2 keys set up. Because I didn't have any savings, I didn't have any income from my art, and I just had the exhaustion of doing something I just no longer believed in. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I blew up at my boss, and in the heat of it all, I just exclaimed, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I just can't keep doing this. And so I left. For a while, I felt free, but that freedom was short-lived. A few months went by and I sank deeper into depression, gripped by the fear that I might have to go back, find another job, or worse, return to the UK. And as the law of attraction says, you get what you think about. And that's exactly what happened. All my fears came true. I couldn't find a new job no matter where I applied. Eventually I ran out of money. I was even being evicted from my studio, and everything I spent years building was falling apart in front of my eyes. That's when I had to tuck my tail between my legs, swallow my pride, and in one of the most humiliating moments of my life, I asked for my old job back. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. Thankfully, they had a position going at a branch just 5 minutes from my house. I wouldn't have to travel an hour there and back like before. This brought me something I hadn't had in a long time: time and stability. At the new branch, I had to put on a brave face. I didn't want to be there, but it helped me reset. And for that, I'm truly grateful. I found a new studio and started rebuilding my life again. And through reflection, I uncovered the third key: a plan for scaling. I realized I needed a clear plan for how I'd grow and scale my business. Something that made sure if I quit again, I'd be financially stable, earning a consistent income, and expanding at a pace I could sustain. That's when I created the Strategic Exit Roadmap, a system that helped me audit my finances, set goals, milestones, and checkpoints to hit along the way. And it's been working. I'm now on track to achieve my dreams by following the process that I'd laid out. And you can follow it too. I've turned it into a free worksheet you can find inside our community, the Guild of Mindful Creators. Just click the link below, join the group, and pick up your free copy. If I could leave you with just one big takeaway, it's this: you don't have to escape your old life by burning it down. You build a new one, brick by brick, until the old one fades away.